Hi everyone, Shabbat Shalom. I know we're starting a few minutes early, but that's because in our live broadcast studios, we are under an order to evacuate, which we are going to be doing right after the Kaddish. So we're going to start with a little bit of song, and then we'll join together in Shabbat.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Hine matov u'manayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet ahim gam yachad.
We are so glad to be together with you. You know, sometimes I watch movies and it has a little scenes of someone, perhaps in the army or lovers from a distance, who received letters and they would read them and they would cherish them. And I thought, well, it's just a letter. It's just something small that doesn't capture the essence of someone. But sometimes when that's what we have to hold in our hands, that's the connection we have between ourselves and our loved ones, then we hold it and we cherish it and it's powerful. Right now, our letter is this. It is us on the screen talking to you, knowing that you are listening together, and that is our connection. And right now, I cherish it, and I hope you do too.
Hine matov u'manayim shevet ahim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet ahim gam yachad.
Well, there's a lot of fire that we cannot control, and that has been causing a lot of pain. But there is fire that we can control, and that can be used to create beauty, and that's the lights of Shabbat. So I hope you join me in lighting these lights of Shabbat. Whether you can light your own candles or whether you're joining us virtually and lighting these candles, let's enjoy these flames together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher hishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
If you're with someone right now, take the moment to give them a Shabbat Shalom hug. Well, this is not going to be a complete Shabbat service where we sing every prayer. We're going to have kind of the best of. But because many of us don't have all of our possessions and yet we can still feel joy, I think with the prayers that we choose, we'll be able to establish the joy that is so important, and it's an important part of Shabbat. So we're going to start by, now that we've created the Shabbat together, we are going to sing about the Shabbat bride with the singing of Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi Likrat kala, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nikabla, nikabla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, Nekavla, nekavla. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom umevorach. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom umevorach. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat, nikavla, nikavla.
During these times, we have a lot to share because we're going through a lot. There's been a lot of pain. There's been a lot of that is frightening to us. And one of the things that helps us through these moments of pain is to listen. So let's take a moment to focus on the idea of listening with the singing of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Shinkevon Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shinkevon Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
So first of all, for those those of you who are getting here at 6:30 and saying, I thought it started at 6:30, the answer is it was supposed to start at 6:30 until we became under an order to evacuate this area, our beautiful studios that we have built here. So we are kind of halfway through our service perhaps, and we are happy to have all of you here with us. We talked about how important it is to listen, and that by listening, that's the beginning of building the world that is the world of love that we want to create together. Olam Chesed Yireh, a world of love that we can build. So please join with us.
Olam Chesed Yireh, Yadadai, Yadadai, Yadadai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Olam chesed yibane, 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 yadadai, yadadai, yadadai.
One of the ways that we can build this world from love is to actually reach out and help one another. So one of the difficulties is we don't know the areas that you need help, and there are those of you who want to help and you don't know how to match those two things. So here's what we want you to do. We want you to send us an email to fires, F-I-R-E-S, fires@a.elohim.com. Tell us where you are, tell us how you are doing. If you have something that you can give, a room, a place where people can stay, if you're a counselor who can help with counseling, then send us that information too. Tell us your story, whatever you want to tell us, fires@a.elohim.com. We want to be here for you and for one another. So we're going to start by redeeming the world. We redeem the world just as we were redeemed from Egypt. Writing that email is the first step for redeeming the world. Singing together is the second step.
Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tegilo, osei pele, nora tegilo, osei pele, mamutecha ra'u barecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Eliyahu ve'Amru, mamutecha ra'u barecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Eliyahu ve'Amru, Adonai yilo le'olam va'ed, Adonai yilo le'olam va'ed. Yalla la 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 yalla la la yalla la yalla 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 la yalla yalla yalla.
This is a time when we would take some opportunities for silent prayer. It is the time when we don't have time to do that silent prayer, but when we're done with the service, you will. So I'm going to ask people to focus on that personal prayers for yourselves, and let's begin to turn to our prayer for peace that we sing at the end of our silent prayer.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Ose shalom b'Roma yaseh shalom aleinu ve'avot Yisrael ve'imenu.
It's time for us to turn to our Mishaberach, our prayer of healing, because we know that there are a lot of people out there tonight who need healing. People who feel the sting and the pain of the loss of people in the nightclub shooting. People who knew people or knew people who knew people. That is a pain that is deep and that tugs on our hearts. And right now, the people who are displaced from their homes, who may have lost their homes, those people, those of you who are out there also are in need of healing. And for everyone, no matter what the illness or ailment is, who is in need of healing, for all of you, let's sing a prayer of healing.
Misherera avotenu limor abraha limotenu. May the source of strength will bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misherera himotenu mekor habraha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We're already moving towards our concluding prayers, turning to the Aleinu, where we focus on the oneness of God and the oneness of us as a people, the idea of unity that brings us together. Just last night, if you can believe it, 24 hours ago, I participated along with several other ministers and someone from the Conejo Islamic Center, thank you, along with members of the City Council and others in a wonderful vigil in support of people who are hurting from the shooting. My task was to talk about unity. Given that this prayer is about unity, it seems appropriate to kind of share those comments as well. This is a poem called Our Road is Wide Enough. My road is wide enough that I might think it my road alone, that I scurry upon daily, gathering breadcrumbs of delight. And when a boulder falls or a car stalls, and my road narrows ahead, I see my neighbors like competitors, like gazelles by a watering hole, struggling to merge and lurching forward. But then disaster strikes, hills ablaze, the quaking road crackling like old skin, shots ring out, blood spills, and everything draws to a stop. I abandon my car and you yours, and we come out of our caves and find that our neighbors are embodied souls, packages of love whom we unwrap while gratefully sharing our plight with one another. Our road is wide enough that our neighbors, once so different in our eyes, seem so like us that we may mistake them for mirrors. And in that moment of narrowing roads, in that moment of disaster, in that moment of grief, and of arms reaching tenderly to one another, we discover that we are one. We now turn to the part of our service where we focus on memory. And at this time, we have a number of people that we are remembering. We want to remember people who are on our Kaddish list on a regular basis, people who are celebrating or at least remembering the names of their loved ones. But before we read those names, we want to add the names of people whom we especially remember at this time, people who died in the shooting in Thousand Oaks. Remember Sergeant Ron Helis, Elena Housley, Cody Kaufman, Justin Meek, Daniel Manrique, Tel Orfanos, Noel Sparks, Sean Adler, Christina Morissette, Marky Meza Jr., Blake Dingman, and Jake Dunham. To those names, we add the names of our loved ones that we remember for a yahrzeit during this week. Earl Abel, Daniel Abrams, Leon Blatcher, Alice Bloom, Jean Broth, Jack Colbert, Irving Comro, Alma Davidson, Edna Edelman, Benjamin Finkelstein, Jenna Greenstein, Morris Huberman, Richard Cano, Michael Casino, Trudy Keeler, Erwin Klieger, Marcia Lederman, Kate Bell Landsman, Ann Levin, Roy Levy, Char Lewin, May Lieberman, Angela Ligeti, Marv Newton, Albert Opens, Linda Paul, Betty Roback, Raleigh Roth, Max Sklar, Teresa Scott, William Sherman, Ida Siegel, Barry Solomon, Gloria Stacy, Constance Tribe, Yetta Treaster, Edward Volk, Warden Waldron, Molly Walker, Louis Wayne, Regina Weiss, Tony Winston, and Ann Wolfe. We remember all of these names at this time as names of love. And since we have more than a minion at this service, actually 58 people, 57 people, plus us here, I think we have enough for a minion. So wherever you are, rise in either stand or rise in your stature, and let's join in our mourner's Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadosh Shemei Rabbah, Be'almad v'yirach v'yutei v'yamlit malkutei, B'chayehon v'yomechon, V'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'yizman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'olmei almaya. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yidaleh v'yithalal Shmei v'kudisha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran ve'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'marav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen.
In our tradition, in our congregation, we always kind of join together, arm in arm. We're going to invite the sheep peers to join us as well. We sing our prayer.
Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom v'broma. Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom v'broma. Ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'yimeru Amen. Oseh shalom. Oseh shalom, Oseh shalom, Amen. Ve'yimeru, Amen.
Have a wonderful Shabbat and a safe Shabbat. We will see you back at Temple soon enough. Good night.